CNBC related she could be the United States' next First Lady, and yet Melania Trump remains an enigma. The 45-year-old wife of 69-year-old billionaire businessman Donald has kept a low profile throughout his presidential campaign thus far. But that could all be about to change if Trump's steamroller success in the Republican primaries continues and he becomes the party's official nominee for the White House. Melania will be unable to keep avoiding the limelight, and even the smartest and the strongest spouses can trip up on the trail. Hillary Clinton caused a stir during husband Bill's presidential campaign in 1992 by appearing to deride women who stay home and bake cookies. Asked last month what to expect from her if her husband makes it all the way to the White House, Melania responded, "We are in the 21st century. I will be me. I will be different than any other first ladies. I will help women. I will help children. They are the future." So what else do we know about the mystery that is Melania? She could be the next Jackie Kennedy. Insiders warned that Slovenian ex-model should not be underestimated. Jackie Kennedy biographer Pamela Keo told the Daily Mail that, just like JFK's iconic wife, Melania is beautiful, smart and keeps her own counsel, with a chic fashion sense. As far back as 2000, Melania told the New York Times that if she were ever First Lady, she would be very traditional. Like Betty Ford or Jackie Kennedy, she speaks 5 languages: Slovenian, English, French, Serbian and German. If you want to know, that linguistic prowess could come in handy at White House functions. But it has been suggested her thick accent is the reason she makes few public appearances. Alongside her immigrant-bashing husband, she grew up in communist Yugoslavia, far away from the glamour of New York high society. Melania was raised in a concrete tower block in then northern Yugoslavia during the rule of communist dictator Tito. If Donald becomes president, Melania would be the first First Lady to be born in a communist nation and only the second to be born abroad, after Louisa Adams, the English wife of 6th President John Quincy. She would be the only First Lady to have posed nude. In 2000, Melania was photographed in the buff for a GQ photo shoot. One memorable image had her handcuffed to a briefcase on board then-boyfriend Trump's private jet. As far as anyone can tell, she would be the first First Lady to let the public see so much of her. Although Pat Nixon and Betty Ford both had clothed modeling careers, she is raising her son as a mini Donald. Barron, the couple's 9-year-old son, apparently loves wearing a suit and tie and playing golf with his dad. He also apparently shares Donald's love of bossing people around. "I call him Mini Donald. He fired nannies, fired housekeepers," Melania said in a 2011 interview, adding that he quickly hired them back. She's a charmer. Melania appears to whine over everyone she meets, from her hairdresser, who describes her as incapable of being mean, to well-known names. Among her chief admirers is Wendy Dang, the former Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, who enthused in an email to the New York Times, quote, "Melania's a supportive wife, great mother and a lovely person." Even veteran gossip columnist Liz Smith has nary a bad word to say about Mrs. Trump, calling her a very, very nice person. She supports her husband's hardline stance on immigration, although it's not surprising for a candidate's wife to back her husband's policies. Some were taken aback by Melania's enthusiasm for Trump's tough rhetoric on migrants. Having immigrated to the U.S. herself, "I follow the law," she told an MSNBC interviewer. "I never thought to stay here without papers." Quote, when pressed about her husband's questionable comments on criminals crossing the border into the U.S., she was equally unfazed. "I don't feel he insulted the Mexicans," she said. "He said illegal immigrants, but she does wish he would act more presidential." During a rally in Arizona last weekend, Trump told the crowd that both Melania and his eldest daughter, Ivanka, don't entirely approve of his behavior. My wife and my daughter said to me, act presidential, he said. Melania insists she isn't shy when it comes to giving her husband political advice. I give him my opinions. Many times. She told CNN last month, I don't agree with everything that he says, but you know, that is normal. She added, I'm my own person. I tell him what I think. I'm standing very strong on the ground on my 2 feet and I'm my own person. And I think that's very important in the relationship. Quote,